The headlines: House resumes and adjourns without mention of no confidence motion. Coast Guard says seizures of cocaine up nearly fivefold in 2 years. And Chris Gayle leaves the IPL for the birth of his first child. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, April the 19th, 2016. Thanks for joining us. The House of Assembly has returned from its Easter recess, but no mention was made at its first sitting of the opposition's no confidence motion against the government. Barbados Labour Party leader Mayor Mottley filed the motion last week on the grounds that the country was on a disastrous economic path. The action followed a credit downgrade that sent the country's bonds further into junk territory. Ms. Mottley said she expected the motion to be heard swiftly, a point with which Government Minister Domville Innes has publicly agreed. He made it clear, however, that it must first be laid on the floor of Parliament. Supporters of Ms. Mottley say the motion is necessary to bring attention to the travails of the country's economy and to test the positions of Owen Arthur and Maria Agard, independent MPs and former BLP members. Critics say, however, that the party's third no-confidence motion under this administration is as much an exercise in futility as the other two. The House was later adjourned until the first Tuesday in May, leaving next week clear for the 50th anniversary celebration on Heroes' Day, with tributes to Prime Minister Stewart and his predecessors. The actual debate in Parliament was about the Warren's Traffic Improvement Project, which Transport and Works Minister Michael Lashley says will cost an additional $17 million. The project, which began more than 8 years ago, has been heavily criticized for causing traffic congestion and other inconveniences. Mr. Lashley said the project is 80% complete, but the new funding is required for the acquisition of land and property. The announcement was met with swift criticism by opposition leader Mayor Mottley, who said the project was poorly planned and had caused frustration to residents in such areas as Green Hill, Eden Lodge, Wardens, Bagatelle, Welches and Redmonds Village. She said also that the state of the roads was unacceptable. The Ministry of Health has forced an illegal dumper to remove garbage that had been deposited at Bucks near the St. Thomas landfill. The unidentified lawbreaker was spotted on Sunday evening and was made to return to clean up 11 truckloads on Monday. Environmental Health Officer Ryle said the action was part of the ministry's crackdown on illegal dumping.
We would have stepped up activity in this particular area. And last night, while one of our surveillance teams were in the area, they would have observed a truck dumping here on this site illegally. The number of the truck license was taken down. We would have contacted the Ministry of Transport and Works, and we would have ascertained the name of the person who would have owned the truck. Consequently, we would have contacted the owner and he was given instructions to clear this particular area.
The Coast Guard is reporting a big increase in cocaine hauls at sea. At the same time, marijuana is down substantially. Lieutenant Commander Mark Peterson said that in 2013, only 19 kilograms of cocaine, that's about 42 pounds, were seized, but the figure rose to 71.8 kilograms in 2014 and 86.7 kilograms or 191 pounds last year. He said more than 7,000 pounds of cannabis were intercepted by the Coast Guard at sea in 2013 compared to 2,700 pounds in 2015, a drop of more than half. Mr. Peterson was speaking on the sidelines of a multinational conference on maritime interdiction and prosecution at Hilton, Barbados. Now, what are the chances of the drivers of 3 vehicles involved in a road accident having attended the same school at the same time? That's what happened earlier in a 4-vehicle collision at Station Hill, St. Peter. It involved a ZR taxi and 3 private vehicles driven by former students of the St. Michael's School, and it was just meters away from the Morris Bayer Polyclinic. The information on their school affiliation and unlikely meetup was given by one of the drivers, Dwayne Hodson Downs. 2 of the drivers were taken to the polyclinic complaining of minor injuries. The National Cultural Foundation says it will continue to support a free program that trains young people in the cultural industries. The 6-month program, called Youth Achieving Results, is a joint effort between the NCF and the Ministry of Youth Affairs. The NCF's Chief Cultural Officer, Andrea, spoke about the Alliance at Monday's program launch.
The YR program encourages all participants to learn new skills, to create new works that are informed by their own experiences, and in so doing, to positively assert their identity as proud and intelligent Barbadians. In telling your own stories, you'll be following in the footsteps of some of our island's greatest cultural icons, some of whose works you will be exposed to during the course of the year. Programs such as these and others facilitated by the Ministry of Youth, Culture, and the National Cultural Foundation are important to the sustainable development of our country. The NCF will continue to support this and other programs that encourages our youth to be critical thinkers while making a contribution to the emerging cultural industries.
The United Nations says Barbados will be among a record 155 countries which will sign the Global Landmark Agreement to tackle climate change at a ceremony at UN headquarters on Friday. What's more, Barbados will deliver its ratification along with 4 other nations, Belize, Tuvalu, Maldives, and Samoa, according to the world body. The agreement reached last December in Paris sets collective limits on global warming and temperature rise. It will take effect 30 days after at least 55 countries, accounting for 55% of global greenhouse gas emissions, deposit their instruments of ratification or acceptance with the UN Secretary General. In sport, Gayle will miss the next 2 matches for Royal Challengers Bangalore after flying back to the Caribbean to be with his partner for the birth of their first child. While Bangalore team officials refused to comment on Gayle's departure, the big Jamaican posted a picture on his Instagram page stating, "I'm on my way, baby." The big-hitting left-hander headed to the airport straight after Bangalore's match on Sunday in Bangalore, while his teammates arrived in Mumbai late on Monday night. While it's unsure when exactly Gayle will rejoin his teammates, it is certain that he will miss the Royal Challengers matches against Mumbai Indians and rising Pune Supergiants this week. Gayle has not had the best start to the IPL, scoring just 1 and a duck in the first 2 matches. The 36-year-old will be hoping fatherhood can change his fortunes when he returns sometime next week. And finally, British police busted a bungling burglar who officers said left a trail of white paint footprints from the scene of the crime to his own front door. Investigators responded to a break-in at a second-hand store in the town of Easington Colliery and soon discovered the culprit had spilled a tin of white paint inside the store and apparently walked through the spill. The officers followed the trail of white footprints all the way to the home of 27-year-old Andrew Mark Connor, who they said had white paint on his shoes and stolen goods from the store in his backyard. Police said Connor was arrested within 30 minutes of the crime being reported. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.